The fastest language learning programs ever built weren't apps with cute animals. They were built by governments and militaries who couldn't afford to learn slowly. The Foreign Service Institute trained American diplomats to professional fluency in months. The Defense Language Institute does the same thing now for soldiers who need to be operational in a language before deployment, not eventually, on a deadline. And no app has ever matched what these programs pull off, until now. Now you can do it too, but more on that later. So why are most modern language learning methods so slow in comparison to these old school ones? Very simple, because they were never trying to make it easy or fun. They were trying to get results without wasting time. And if you're watching this, I imagine you've been trying to learn a language for a while, probably months or maybe even years. And chances are you still can't speak well. Now picture this. 3 months from now, you're in a real conversation with native speakers, you're speaking fluently, confidently, and you're enjoying it. The sentences just come out when you need them. And you don't have to translate in your head or think of the grammar. Sounds nice, right? Well, there are a lot of people who are able to do that in multiple languages. So why not you? Well, it's not about talent. This is what drilling, done right, actually builds. And I'll show you the method and how to run it yourself. FSI stands for Foreign Service Institute, the US State Department's training arm for diplomats. Starting in the 1950s, they needed a way to get officials speaking foreign languages fluently and fast, with no room for the slow methods and the grammar and theory approach that schools were using. And the military ran into the exact same problem and built its own version as well, the Defense League Institute, because you cannot send someone into the field with a textbook. Both programs converged on the same core mechanic, the pattern drill. The idea is simple. Instead of teaching a grammar rule and then trying to use it to form sentences, you drill a sentence structure over and over again with small variations until the underlying pattern is automatic, completely bypassing the need to consciously think about the grammar at all. You don't learn that verbs conjugate a certain way in the past tense. You drill I went to the store, I went to work, I went home, I went to the beach, etc. dozens of times in quick succession until the pattern itself is wired in. The grammar rule becomes something your mouth already knows, not something your brain has to calculate mid-sentence. This is how we all learned a native language, by the way. Listen and repeat until you get it right. You didn't study grammar rules before you could speak your native language, right? So if it's already working, why change it? This works for the same reason chunking works and the language islands work. Your brain doesn't retrieve grammar as abstract rules in real time. It retrieves pre-built patterns. A pattern drill directly builds the pre-built pattern through sheer repetition. Anyone who's ever done sports or martial arts or any other kind of physical activity that requires developing skills will tell you the same thing. Practice makes perfect. Just do more drills. When I was competing in boxing, for example, my performance got way better after I started drilling all my favorite combos over and over again, on my own, at home. And the other reason this works so well is because volume compounds. One sentence teaches you one sentence. A pattern drilled through 15 or 20 variations teaches you the entire structure, as well as lots of extra vocab, meaning you walk away able to produce dozens of sentences you never specifically memorized, because you internalized the shape, not just the content. And this is why most language learners get stuck. You can know the theory, or get a lot of listening practice, comprehensible input as they call it, but in order to speak well, you need to develop automaticity. And for this, you need drills. Aloud. You need to train your mouth to speak the language. Here's how to actually do this, using your own materials. So take sentences you already know, ideally from your own language islands, something like I live in Madrid. Take the sentence and substitute one word and say it aloud. I work in Madrid. I lived in Madrid. I drive in Madrid. I party in Madrid. Then change another word. She lives in Madrid. Or ask a question. Do you live in Madrid? And then you can change the place. I live in London. I live in Berlin, etc. You can also start making the sentences longer, more complex. I don't live in Madrid anymore. I don't like living in Madrid. I don't like driving in Madrid. Infinite options. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Always aloud. As many reps as possible, as fast as possible. You're developing automaticity. You're building muscle memory. So take your sentences and just speak. This is what my friend Tony Marsh does, by the way. This is a great way to get your speaking going. This is an excellent exercise to combine with your language islands. This is how it works. Your language islands give you specific personal content. You'll actually say entire paragraphs for things you say often or things that are important. And pattern drills give you the automatic reflex to say lots of different sentences without having to think. And eventually to build sentences you've never specifically memorized, on the fly. One gets you conversational, the other gets you fluent. Fast. Think about what that actually means the next time you're caught off guard. Someone asks you something you didn't prepare for, and instead of freezing, your mouth just finds the pattern and finishes the sentence. That's what you can do if you learn languages this way. The two systems feed each other directly. Every language island you build contains sentence patterns inside it. And instead of treating that island as a single fixed block, you can extract its core structures and drill them separately as their own pattern sets. Take an island about your job, pull out the core structure, and suddenly you're not just fluent about your specific job, you're fluent in the entire pattern of describing any job, in any sense, as a question or a statement. That's the real payoff. One island produces a personal, specific block of fluency, and the pattern drilled out of it produces general, flexible fluency that extends far beyond that one topic. And now let me guess. Your question now is, how do I start doing this? Don't worry about it. I developed an app that uses this exact system. It has thousands of sentences that you can drill to learn to speak without studying grammar. The link is in the description. You can start drilling sentences right now. Do 30,000 reps on Hyperlingua in the next 30 days, repeating the sentences out loud, and let me know how it goes.